everyone. We're here today to talk about some questions that I've been receiving as well as Christian Peter's been receiving. I'm Missy Stegers, broker owner of MStagersRealtyPartners, and
I'm Christian Peter, Centene Mortgage, and we're here to talk about mortgage rates.
Mortgage rates. So Christian Peter's who we like to use because he takes amazing care of our clients. And lately we've had buyers going, well, I'm ready to buy. And so what is the rate? And some of them frown. And then we've had buyers tell us, no, I'm going to wait until the rates change. And so Christian Peter's going to answer some of those questions for us.
Yeah, so in addition, every time there's a new year, we start to think,
Yes.
what is the future going to hold for us? And so that's the big question we have. And so we really want to talk about two things today, Missy. The first is there's a new administration. What does that mean? With new administration comes new policies, there's new outlooks, and so I want to talk about that, as well as the Fed is actually meeting this week.
Woohoo! So lots of crazy.
Yeah. They lower rates. What does that mean for mortgage rates? And when they're lowering, what does that mean? So let me tackle the Fed piece first. So I'm going to go back to September of last year, 2024.
Yes.
Rates were low sixes, high fives. And we fast forward today, and the reality is today's interest rate is probably high sixes, maybe even low sevens, depending on where you are.
I've seen a 1.25 even lately.
Yeah. So the rates are up 1% since September. So what happened? The Fed actually met 2 or 3 times between September and today. They lowered the rates, the Fed fund rate, each time that we have higher mortgage rates. And so a big confusion that people have is that when the Fed lowers rates, the belief is that it automatically translates to mortgage. It does not, okay?
No,
so just
it doesn't.
pay attention to that, okay? Just because if the Fed lowers rates this week, that doesn't mean we're gonna see a lower rate on Friday, okay? The biggest impact of rates is gonna be inflation, and inflation is still kind of shown to be sticky, okay? So investors and the government and everybody's looking for the signs of inflation coming back down to 2%. We're not there.
Correct. I read that too, that 2% is that magic number, and we're above it still.
That's the magic number. And so until we get closer to that number and it sticks to 2%, we're going to see rates stay around the range that we are.
Yes.
Okay. The second piece is that there's a new administration. Okay. New administration, like I said, brings new policies, new changes. Does this new administration, are they going to lower interest rates? And the short answer is we don't know. The current administration has a lot of policies. He has not mentioned interest rates, specifically as it relates to mortgages, as being one of the top ones. And so I think that the first 3 to 6 months of his term is going to be really important to see what happens.
Yes.
And then after that, we'll know a little bit more. But it's really way too early to know what his policies are going to do and if they're going to translate to higher or lower rates.
You know, I read recently too, everybody's been trying to predict this crystal ball of rates, and the National Association of Realtors, Mortgage Bankers Association, and a lot of these other entities, and all of them basically say we're in the sixes and don't expect to leave it. We might be in the high sixes, we might edge down to the low sixes, but nobody sees it going any lower than that, and everybody varies in their opinion because in the end nobody knows what this crystal ball says. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, MBA, and the National Association of Realtors all got, by the end of the year, the first number in the interest rate was still 6. Yes.
So everybody's thinking that. So if you're waiting for a lower interest rate, that may be okay. You just need to wait till 2026, 2027. Wow, that's far way out.
But you know, the problem with that is, and we get this question often from people that are waiting for the rate to go down, is prices though are continuing to incline at a very small rate. So if you think that you're gonna wait because the rate's gonna come down, there's a phrase that says don't date the rate. I'm going to tell you, don't date the rate. We need to look at other options for you. Like maybe instead of putting down a large down payment, we buy the rate down, or you think about, I can handle this for now, and when the rate does drop, we can do a refinance, which is why there's always big refinance booms. But it's very important to know that no one is predicting a housing crash. No one is predicting that prices are going to plummet at this time. So with that, when you wait, prices go up, the interest rate goes down, you end up in the same place overall.
Yeah, a little bit further on that. So, going back to economics,
yes,
when we learn supply and demand, one of the things that happens is that the interest rates go lower, it's going to increase the demand of houses out there. When that happens, you start to see it turn to a seller's market. You're going to have overbidding, less negotiation. They're not willing to pay your closing cost. And so I had a lot of clients back in 2020, 2021, 800 credit score. They had saved their 10, 20% down, great debt to income ratio, and they didn't get a house. It doesn't matter how good the rate is. They kept getting outbid by cash offers, by well-qualified people. And believe it or not, I had a cousin who paid $80,000 over asking price for a house in 2021.
I know.
Crazy.
I know,
so
it was crazy.
We think lower rates are good, and they definitely help, but if you can buy your house today at today's prices, refinance down the road, I'd call that a savvy buyer. What about you?
I would too. That's also how you grow your wealth.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we answered a little bit of those crystal ball questions.
If you've got more, reach out. This is Missy. I'm Christian Peter.